Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the best-selling cards and products in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! As the 25th anniversary box is already #1. It's made the climb all the way up there. This was something that I think, I remember talking about something being something. I remember something. This is really unfortunate because I said I was going to keep my eye on something. I don't remember what it was. I believe it was this, though. When we look at this, it's just been taking a nosedive. That's why it's the best selling. Like, if you want, you might as well keep waiting. But these come out this weekend. Could be very possible that these are worth $30 by the end of the weekend. I don't know what Walmart, Target, Meijer is going to be selling these for. I'd assume it's going to be in the $30 range. I don't know if I can look it up either. I don't know if there's pre-sales for Walmart. I check your local card shop as well, but they're probably checking this. So I guess we could check eBay for these because these are coming out soon. So we could check eBay because sometimes eBay is actually cheaper. So let's see what we got here. So 25th anniversary. Okay. Yugioh. Really? 40. Well, I guess you could buy them on TCG Player and sell them on eBay. But no, I would definitely wait to try to do that type of thing because I think eBay might correct itself in a second, but we'll see how it goes. I think, okay, so last week we talked about this, so 17, yeah, on the 10th, and it was 36, 37, I guess I posted the video on the 13th, but even then, so if you got these cards when I said last week, or the first or second time that I talked about this archetype, when they were really cheap, back when like Amazing Defenders came out. I mean, these were, like around here. Then, you should have made profit. At this point, they're getting kind of expensive. I still don't think they are bad buys, though. Like this Pearly archetype, the reason why I switched it to a buy last week was because if there's a chance that this archetype gets some crazy support sometime soon, it's going to be an extremely expensive archetype because it was already holding the line as an archetype. They were actually even going up in value last week, and they were starting to climb, and I was like, once the support comes out, it's going to be even more. I still don't think these are bad buys. I still think these are pretty decent buys, but do keep in mind, Amazing Defenders could be a target for the Megatons, so that'll obviously make the value go down. And once the new support comes out and the archetype is okay, but not like that great, I think that could make the value go down as well. Like, I do think the new support makes the archetype really good, probably tier 1, tier 1.5, but I don't think it makes it the best deck. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. This card is insane. This card is insane in Pearlies, though. Like, and the fact is usually with Zeus, most decks, this is just like a last resort, attack with a Baguska, attack with a Dweller, attack with whatever, and then summon Zeus and board wipe. In Zodiac, though, it kind of functions, and in what it's called, Super Quants. I don't know if you know the Power Ranger deck. This card is actually pretty crazy in those decks. It's even better in Pearly, though, because of the way Pearly interacts with Xyz monsters. And I had never really, when I first looked at the Pearly cards when Amazing Defenders came out, I totally missed the Zeus interaction that the archetype has. So when we look at this, it's missing one, which is fine. When we look at this, I also wanted to look at the Starlight Rare version of this card is up there. So sitting at 420 for a while, and then is now, it's about 460, 470, 600. This could be 1,000 soon. I have a very difficult time convincing myself to tell somebody that a $470 card is a good buy, but I could very easily see this card being $1,000. I think the only thing that would hurt this version is a hit on the ban list. But even then, like Shadal Construct, for example, which came back a few years ago now, it never really went down in value. There are just cards like Masterpiece, which is still on the ban list and has been on the ban list for quite some time and probably won't ever come back. I mean, 15, that's not like fantastic, obviously. This card used to be like in the upper 30s and stuff like that. But just a year ago it was, right? And that was, you know, it's because every time the ban list comes around, this card goes back up in value. So when we look at this, and I don't think Zeus is ever going to get hit, I could very easily see this card, if I'm wrong about Pearlies, I could see this card being $1,000. Now, don't quote me on that. We went way too far back. I know we didn't. Okay, we fixed it. Don't quote me on that. And you spend your money how you feel. I don't even know if I will be able to pull the trigger and spend $470 just to see if I'm right. But could be free chicken tendies, you know. That's an MCool 40 reference. But as far as the best version, the Megatons version has 68 listings, but it is the best selling because it's also the cheapest. I could see this card being 40 soon, but there are a lot of versions, so just be careful with all that. Even this version, the secret rare version, looks really cool. This card is a secret rare, is really nice. Could be over 50. Zeus is just such a good buy right now. It has always been a really good card. Players need to run more of it because of Cash Tira. And regardless of what the ban list does, I don't think Cash Tira is going to get the tier element treatment, right? So I think that because there is a ban list discussion video coming up soon. I will be doing a ban list discussion video soon because we're about at that time. But Zeus is such a good buy right now, so I definitely think that, especially because of the Pearly archetype getting new support, this is going to be a fantastic card going forward. Now, this is interesting. At 17, I guess, plus shipping is no promo cards. So it's like 23, 24. This feels like a really good buy. On the penny stock marker watch, we were just talking about Volcanic Rocket, the secret rare from this, Super Poly, Macrocosmos, Allura Darkness. There's just so much value that could be gained from getting a box there. I'm actually gonna do this though real quick. We're just gonna do the best selling cards because there's a lot of sealed product in here. So I just want to see the top 25 best selling cards. Right. 1 second. Fenrir's $25. I mean, is it a ban list hit? Is that what people are worried about with this card? Because it cannot possibly be the ultimate rare from OTS Pack 21 that is causing this card. Because, yes, that is a reprint, and the rule of thumb with the Yu-Gi-Oh market is a reprint makes the value go down. But it does not all reprints are the same. Like a structured deck common reprint, or a common reprint in a Megaton, or a reprint like in the Speed Duel box where you're getting those specific decks because it's kind of a structured deck as well. That's one thing. The OTS ultimate rare version of Cash Tira Fenrir is going to be really hard, I feel like, to pull and get a hold of. And so I feel like it does. It could potentially get hit by the ban list, right? It is similar to Dino Wrestler. Is it a Dino Wrestler? Pankratops. Is Pankratops a Dino? I always call it Pankratops. It is a Dino Wrestler. It is similar to Dino Wrestler Pankratops, being just a free summon that's also spot removal. Especially considering it can add itself is insane. And yes, if this, because the thing is, like, this card was really, really good even when Kashtira wasn't really, really good. Because it's just a generically really good card. Yeah, it's $70. Now it's sitting at $25. You could, like, I don't see whatever's causing this card to go down in value changing, right? Like, just because I think that it's a mistake that this card is being sold for $25 doesn't mean that it's just going to magically be expensive next week. So you could wait to see if it hits 20. If this card hits 20, it's almost an auto buy. Like, I just think that this is going to be something that we're going to look back in a few months and go, oh, it's a $40, $50 card, because the ultimate rare is so hard to pull and now is worth $100. Even though the pre-sale value is $50 on the ulties, I think Fenrir is actually a pretty decent buy, which I don't think is something I've ever said. That is insane that this card is just really holding. I mean, I think the structure deck is worth, yeah, like, it's barely worth more. Like, this structure deck, and the thing is too, I would be looking for this structure deck if I was at Walmart, Target, Meijer. I would be looking as hard as I can, because a lot of times what those stores will do is they'll have structure decks like these in the clearance section, right? I know we've all probably been to that section of Walmart and we've seen those Blue Eyes structure decks. They're being sold for $8. Like, don't buy those. But those are being sold cheaper. Like, the fact is that this is probably like $11 or $12 at your Walmarts, your Meijers, your Target, if you can find it, right? And you could just honestly flip it and sell it for $16, or just sell the impermanences that come from the structure deck, and you end up with these cards here. You know, you have cores. You have a Cyber Dragon core. You have Cyber Dark core. You have the Mixture core. You are missing a few things with these archetypes. Like the Link Monster for Cyber Dragon. I don't think the Link Monster made the cut for some reason. But nonetheless, Cyber Dragon has always been either like a tier 1 meta defining card, or just like a really good like tier 1.5, tier 2 deck, that like a good rogue deck that you can just mess around with. So I think that the structure deck, I know we were talking about cards specifically, I think the structure deck is really good, specifically though because of infinite impermanence. Regulus is interesting right now, because just about any machine deck that exists, like the one we were just talking about, Cyber Dragon, should be running this card. So Megaton reprint obviously is something to be keeping in mind. I don't think it's going to hit on the ban list. I don't think it's that good of a card. But it is going slightly up in value because of the super heavy samurai deck. Some people are wondering, could this card be really good in that deck? Maybe, maybe not. At $45, $46, it doesn't feel like the greatest buy. I don't think this card, if this card hits 50, I don't think it'll be 50 very long, because I think by the time this card finally gets to 50, it'll probably get the reprint. But like I said, not all reprints are made the same, and if you want to play the long game, this could be a good card to invest in. But I could see it also getting like if they revamp Yugioh, for example, because they've been doing that. Like Volcanics just got support, Dark World just got support, Traptrix just got support. Like Gears is just some, I don't work at Konami, I have no idea, but Gears is just some random old machine archetype that I thought of. If they revamp Yugioh with a structure deck, because they've been doing that kind of like, we did this structure deck like 10 years ago, and now we're doing the next one, and now we're doing the next one, and now we're doing the next one. They might do Yugioh, because Yugioh was a structure deck as well from about around the Dark World structure deck, this card could be in it, right? And it could be an infinite impermanence thing where it's like driving the price up of that structure deck. But infinite impermanence is also like a $12 card. So I think Therion King is a good sell. But, you know, you spend your money how you feel. Is this? I was gonna say this also looks like it's cheaper. Are people just afraid? Is that what's going on right now with Kashtira? Like, are they just? Are they? And we'll see this from time to time, where you know, no cards will be hit, no new cards will come out, but a deck will get cheaper. The best deck in the room will get cheaper because these are what meta players do. Like, you know, if you ask yourself, how do people continuously buy these $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 decks for every single format? Well, what these players do, they obviously have the staples that they keep forever, and then they'll buy these deck cores, take them to an event, do well in an event, move on, and then once they're done and they've done their thing with that event, they'll take this deck, and this might be a review for a lot of people, or you might even do this if you're listening, and they'll take it and they'll sell it, right? When that sell-off happens, this right here, what we're seeing with Kashtira, this is what happens, you know, as a response. So when I look at this Kashtira deck, a Rise Heart's 250, Collector's Rare, Fenrir's are 25, Kashtira Theosis is 20s. So we're looking at 75, 80 for just Fenrir, but for a playset, because it used to be 80 for one, now it's an 80 for a playset of Fenrir's, 60 for Theosis, playset of Theosis. Usually, some people are running 2, some people are running 3. So 140. A Rise Heart's usually a playset, so that's 30. That's 170. Tier Elements Kashtira. I don't know if Kashtira itself is playing this card, but you can. So we'll just say plus 15, so that's 145. Plus, we'll just round up to another 10. So that's 175. And then everything else, a playset's $1. So 76, 77. You don't need a playset of that. I don't even know if you need to run that card. 78, 79, and like 80. So 180, $200, I think. Final answer on a Kashtira deck, which honestly isn't that bad. It's really not. And the thing is too, yes, the almighty sell-off is happening with this. Yeah, because eBay has got these cores for an insane amount. Might be able to bid on that, but probably not. Interesting. So when it comes to Kashtira, this actually might be a great time to buy, because when we look, and I guess we could take a deeper dive here, because we talked about Fenrir, we talked about Theosis. That's 1740. This is $10, like we said. Like, here's what's gonna happen. Two options. Option A, as we enter, and yes, I was just, before we talk about the options, Megatin reprint. Yep, that's also a thing that you do need to think about with these. Kashtira could very easily be all over the Megatins, right? But I don't know, like, something might end up being missed for Kashtira, because there is a lot of Kashtira stuff. I don't know if they're going to be able to get all of it in there, right? But one of two things are going to happen with this. So right now, there's a fire sale going on with Kashtira, because everybody that wanted to play Kashtira has already done what they're going to do. They've gotten their invite, they got their tops, they got their wins, etc. And so now it's the sell-off. It's the fire sale, right? But on top of that, like I just said a little bit ago, you know, a ban list discussion is coming up soon on this channel, because the ban list is looming. The ban list is, It's starting to get murky, right? We all know it's almost like when a natural disaster is gonna happen in a movie, and all the birds start flying away, the dog starts barking at nothing, and the character looks away all stoic, like you can feel the ban list is coming. So people are selling Kashtira. One or two things are gonna happen. Konami is going to just body Kashtira. It's not going to be good anymore. It's not even going to be playable. I don't know what that would look like. Maybe ban Fenrir, ban Arise Heart, ban Theosis. The field spell's not here. I guess it's not a Kashtira card. And so I think it was on the Market Watch though. Okay, so it could ban all of those like key Kashtira cards, like Pressured Planet as well, and just say goodbye to the archetype forever. Or it could like semi-limit Fenrir, limit Arise Heart, and that's it. Depending on one of those two options. If it's the first one, these cards going down in value, because this one is as well, they're going to keep going down. They're going to go down even lower, right? But the reason why there are 1, 2, 3 Kashtira cards in the best selling cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because other players are seeing Kashtira is getting cheaper, and they're playing that game, right? Because there are some people, when the dogs are barking and the birds are chirping and everybody's selling their decks because they're worried about the ban list, there's some people who buy those decks on the off chance that the ban list comes, doesn't hit the deck. Now you have a $400 deck that you spent $200 on, right? And so you can take it to an event, do your thing, and then sell it, and lunch is on you. But let me know what you guys think. What are the best selling cards that you were looking at in all of Yu-Gi-Oh? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.